And just as we're checking out of the hotel, noticed my screen was hanging off.
Right, so from Parump all the way down the 160, it looks like a boring road. It was actually a lot better than it looks. Into there, up into Vegas.
Vegas,
Well,
baby.
that was actually going to the AAA. Then into there, down, I think that's the Strip.
It's all very complicated
Yeah,
and busy.
and hot.
And
Then we
hot.
came out of there, headed down towards Boulder City, went up to the Hoover Dam.
That's lovely.
That was beautiful. And then really,
Interesting.
well, we then went all the way down here to Kingman, and I'll let the video tell you what that was like. We came into about there.
No twirling tonight. Far too tired for this twirling in nonsense. It's been a long day today, hasn't it?
No. Yeah, it's been a long day. A long day on the. I sat on the bike.
For us, it is. We've done over 5 hours of riding. 5 hours of riding. We actually got organised for once this morning, didn't we? Got all packed up, ready to leave
Oh yeah.
for the sensible hour, and then checked out the hotel, about to ride off, noticed my screen was hanging off one side.
Yep. So I checked mine, and mine was doing
And yours was doing exactly the same.
exactly the same thing. The screens were about to fall off.
So we didn't leave the car park. We took the screens off, and it was, well, you'll see on the video, there was an adjustment thing that we had on there that just had given up. So
Yep.
we had to fix that. Honestly, we've had an extra day off. finally get kind of on the road at a sensible time. And just as we're checking out of the hotel, noticed my screen was hanging off. We do check the screens, we check the bikes regularly, but not every single time, and that's our fault. So every day we need to check everything, because the screen, we had screen risers on. Seems like we had screen risers on, and they've just, I don't know why, they've just disintegrated up here. They've been on the bike since the beginning, so they've been on a few years, but somehow the plastic's just gradually worn. We haven't moved the screens very much, or at all. They've been in one place. But somehow the plastic's worn, and the bolts don't stay in. It's also a bit warped, actually. So I've had to take the screens off, and we're well miffed because we were on for a good set off today. We had quite a long day ahead of us. It doesn't matter, we just stop earlier, or stop nearer, but it's just a little bit annoying. Carl's managed to get his toolkit out without unpacking the whole bike. He's now doing his first. You can see his is on the same, and it's kind of almost stretched, warped in the sun or something, and the bolts are just, they're not big enough anymore. Both of mine had come out.
Both of mine had come out.
Oh, had they? That was very spooky. Both the left sides of the screen.
Split completely.
So,
and all these bits are hanging off. That's the problem with 3D printing sometimes.
yeah.
It's great in the short term, but
Great in the short term, they were good, but to be honest, we've had them down at their lowest levels anyway, so we're just going to put the screens back on per factory fit. So yes, we are a bit peeved, but this hopefully won't be a long mend, and we'll get away shortly. We've probably only got one Allen key, so I can't do mine at the same time. My turn. Can't film and unscrew things, so I will get on with this and come back to you in a minute. Okay, so what we've done is just take those screen risers off on both the bikes, and we've just put the screens back on. Well, these seem to be facing the wrong way somehow. But anyway,
that's fine.
We've put them on as it was from factory, and the screen's back to where it was, and the Pingu fits in there. And it's a bit tight, they've got a bit of a squash belly, but I spare fits in, and Carl's is on there. These are wrong. We don't know what's going on with these. He's only got one on the front. I don't quite know where the other ones are. Whether he took them off or whether they just weren't there. But those are bowled out, so they're not quite right, but they'll do for now. Today's little trauma.
What I don't want to do is over tighten these so the screen ends up cracking.
No.
I'm not going to say where we got them from, except I do know that they've come up with a revised version before we left. But the 3D printing on those is just worn. So you can see what happened. The bolts actually wore through and came through. In fact, that's actually cracked through there.
Yeah.
So the bolt that was in there,
it's just not stood up to long term use.
They haven't stood up.
Well, never mind. We're back
So these bolts that were provided with it, they're supposed to slide in the rail, but actually when they got down there,
they just stood out.
they've actually pulled out. I can't make it do it now, but it pulled out.
Yeah, my side. Well, both sides were hanging off.
But you can see it's kind of tight there, but it's loose there, and that's the setting that we had them in.
And this one just seems to have expanded, and the actual plastic's worn away.
Yeah, in fact, this one,
Just
there you can see it.
Just falls through.
Bosh, straight through.
It's a shame. I mean, they were on the bike from the beginning, so they've been on there for 3 years, but they're now off.
But that's 3D printing failure for you, that is.
Yeah.
So anyway, they're going in the bin.
They're going in the bin, and the screens are back on. Find somewhere to wash my dirty hands, and we'll be on our way. Probably not long. It's probably added up to about an hour by the time we got going again. So we left at our usual late time instead. No yawning, because you'll set me off.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh,
it's my hair looks
yeah.
bad in this.
Mine, well, I just look like a dish mop at the moment. I really need a haircut. Anybody that knows us knows that we hate towns, never mind big cities. So we thought it would be a good idea today to go to
Las Vegas.
And on the way to Las Vegas, we were on the Holy Grail hunt. No,
So
we were on a
you
hunt
and
for the
your
Holy
maps.
Grail of a map.
You and your maps, and everyone without fail. Well, not everyone without fail.
You can't buy a map in the US.
Lots of people suggested that we should go to a AAA office, which is the American Automobile Association or something. Basically, members get given maps for
State
free.
maps.
State maps, state road maps for free. And they sell them to tourists, visitors. So we Googled, we found one on the outskirts of Las Vegas that we'd drop in there on the way through.
So many people have said in a forum, oh, you've got to go to AAA. Right, we'll go to AAA.
So you took your helmet off, walked in there and asked the question.
I said, hi. I said, I'm after some state maps. Have you got any, please? He said, oh, yes, what's your membership? You got your membership on you? I said, I'm not a member. He said, we can't have any then. I said, right. Can I buy some then, please? No, can't sell them to you. I said, well, I've just been on all the Facebook forums say the overlanding community, go to AAA and they will sell you state maps. Oh, no, it changed 2 or 3 months ago. Boss says we can't sell them to anybody anymore. I said, right, well, where can I buy one? He said, oh, I don't know, not very many places sell maps. Right, so you've got a whole cupboard full and you won't give me any, but you won't tell me where I can buy one either. He was really quite arrogant.
Mm-hmm.
And he just smirked as well. It was horrible. He's the face of AAA and he's failed them big time today. Yep. He could have said no nicely.
So you came out, I wouldn't say in tears, but
I was angry. I was really angry and cross.
So I decided to go in there. I thought, okay. So I sort of said to him, look, I know you're not selling maps to people anymore. I don't understand why. I said, but what is your cost for membership? So he was so smarmy. He said, well, come over here and take a seat here by the table.
Did you get the young chap?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, the young chap.
He said, come and take a seat at the table. I said, I'm not sitting down. I'm not going to be that long. Just tell me, what's your cheapest membership? Oh, $70. I said, $70 for a map?
For one state map.
Well, only one state.
We actually wanted two. We wanted 2 maps, so $35 a map. I think not. So
I just said, $70 for one map? And he just looked at me and said, well, yes. And that was it. So I had a little mini rant.
And he kind of just smiled at you as if, ha, you can't have a map.
Smirked, and the arrogance of it and everything else. So, yeah.
So I then loitered outside the door And anybody that came out said, "Excuse me, are you a member?"
Yeah.
I accosted 2 people in the street, and neither of them were members, unfortunately. So I was going to say, "Can you go back in there and get me a map, please?" But they weren't members, unfortunately. Then this nice chap came over.
Oh yeah, from somewhere totally unrelated.
He was really nice, and we said, "We just want a map." He said, "Well, you just put it on your phone." I said, "Look, I know how to work my phone. We would just want a paper map." And he said, "But nobody uses maps anymore." I said, "I use maps." He said, "Oh," he said, "I'm really sorry. I hope you don't think bad of America." He started apologising, didn't he? Because he didn't know where to buy one either.
No.
So
That's a reflection on the Americans.
I
So
think
anyway,
if you frequent towns, biggish towns and cities, yes, you can go around bookshops, you can go to these other places, you can buy maps. We don't go to... I haven't come here to spend my time walking around shopping in cities.
I haven't come here to spend my time trying to find a bloody map.
No. There's somebody else suggested, "Why don't you buy your maps before you leave home?" Well, I'm probably going to about 25 countries. There's too many maps to carry. So, yeah, you can't do that. We left home with the first 2 maps. Anyway,
So
we then, because we were so close and passing through near Las Vegas, we had to go and do the Strip, didn't we?
well, yeah, there wasn't. Oh, by the way, since we're here, let's go and do the Strip. We went to Las Vegas
Well,
to
we
do
did.
the Strip.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, because it was on our way to.
Yeah, and boy,
East.
oh boy, they're preparing the Strip.
Oh
for
yeah, that was quite interesting.
for the Formula One in a couple of weeks' time. So the number of roads are shut off. They're starting to put stands up and things like that. And everything. So it was actually quite interesting. But the traffic, we actually sat in.
But what about Little Venice? Or
Oh yeah, well, Little Venice has been drained. Little Venice is no longer Little Venice because they've drained all the water to build grandstands over the canals.
why could they just leave the water in? They
Well,
find
no.
somebody's going to fall in or something.
Well, because the men who were building the
Oh,
things
good point.
would get very wet.
Yeah, I suppose. Okay.
So anyway,
Well, I thought for a few car races.
mm.
But all the grandstands were going up along down the street, weren't they? So that's quite interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting. But then we suddenly hit
there.
traffic. Oh, the traffic! And of course, we're on
On the Strip,
we're on motorbikes in bright sunshine.
really.
And
I was a wet, sweaty blob.
At one stage, the bike, well, your camera on your helmet
That kept
gave up
turning
in
off.
the end. Just gave up in
Too
the end
hot.
because of the
It's
heat.
too hot for the camera. The bike's fan kept coming on.
My phone gave up the heat.
Yep.
And the bike was telling us at one stage. Now I know we were sitting still in traffic in the sunshine, so it reflected, but it actually came up and said 38 degrees.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Wherever we are, it's
we
really hot.
can't come to this part of the world and not visit the Strip. So I'm glad we've done the Strip, but I'm in no rush.
Then I had
to
a
go back.
random guy wound his window down and shouted something. I went, "What?" I said, "I can't make out what he's saying." So several efforts later, he said, "Do you do stunts on those?" Does it look like we do stunts? Look at the luggage. Do we do? No, we don't do stunts. Oh. I don't quite know what he was smoking.
Well,
So-
yeah, but there's many strange things down the Strip. There's like Superman was walking along with his lunchbox, wasn't he? Now, why couldn't Superman fly to where
His
he was going?
lunchbox.
Superman carrying
Did he have
carrying
his
his
lunchbox
lunchbox.
out?
Yeah, it was so funny because he reached his hand out to shake someone's hand, and they just refused to take it.
I think I've got all that on camera. All
So
right, we
then-
went in the daylight. It wasn't the same as going at night,
No.
but I wouldn't be in a rush to go back and do it at night. It had to be done, but really didn't float my boat at all, even at night.
Well, because of the traffic jam. I don't know what was causing the traffic, but it was just backed up.
But
completely.
also
We-
just passing all the casinos, and I just thought, oh.
We were sat in that jam for well over half an hour, and it just killed us. So in the end, we turned off. But soon enough, thank you very much. Tick that box. Then we headed off for the Hoover Dam, and we dropped in on a visitor
I said,
centre.
call into the visitor centre. That's the other place people say we'll get maps.
Lake Mead Visitor Centre.
And I wish,
I parked the bikes up in the shade and the far end of the car park, and you went into the visitor centre.
I had gone in with my helmet on and my camera running, because I walked in and there were 2 ladies, young lady and lady but my age, and then a guy. And I said, she said, "Can I help you?" I went, "Have you got any maps I could buy?" "Oh, I've got loads of maps and they're all free. Which ones do you want?" And I just collapsed on the counter and went, "Oh my God, you're amazing!" And they all just started laughing. And this woman said, "Don't worry, I'm from the UK too. You've been struggling to find a map, haven't you? Nightmare. I understand your pain." So yes, whatever people say, it is hard to buy a map in the US. If you're in the UK, virtually any petrol station, even tiny country ones, pretty much will have some sort of map or road atlas in them. None that we found have them over here. And we get petrol every day, bear in mind.
Yes, we do, yeah.
And anyway.
And while you were in there, this park ranger came wandering over because he'd seen the bikes. And I thought, oh yeah, he's come over to check out the bikes and things and see what.
I came out and thought, oh, that's nice. There's a ranger chatting to Carl.
Oh,
You thought I was coming over to have a go at me.
No, I don't think he was coming over to have a go, but I thought he was coming over to do his job and find out why we were parked at the far end of the car park. Anyway, he was really, really nice. He loves his job. He loves the place where he lives, Lake Mead.
Yeah.
And he was giving us so much information on trails we should ride, places we should camp.
Yeah.
Yes, we want to get on and do the Grand Canyon, but if we find we have time, and I think we may have time
on the way back, we may go pull back. We don't like retracing our steps, but actually we might go back to that area.
Definitely think we need to. He gave us such good info. He was so passionate about his.
And he's since messaged us tonight and said, "Oh, lovely to meet you two today.
Yep.
Enjoy the place where I work and live." He said, didn't he? Because I came running out going, "I've got maps. See this crazy woman. Who's this? Do you know her?"
Yeah, unfortunately, I do.
So yeah, he was very helpful.
So there you go. And then
was
after
Vic, our new friend Vic.
Then it was just hit the highway and just get to where we're going, and the views were quite nice, weren't they?
Well,
the sunset.
Yeah, we weren't on a major highway, but we just jumped on the big road between the two towns, which was an hour and 20 minutes of nothing between the two towns apart from odd little dwellings and
they were strange.
Yeah, there were some strange places we passed through. They weren't even places, they were just random
collections of
of
caravans
buildings.
and old RVs and buildings. And there was one that had 2 floors. I thought that was a bit special.
Yeah, because they don't go up. Yeah.
No, they don't. Why do they need to? They've got so much space.
Yeah, they just go out, don't they? But
anyway,
we drove around through the middle of the valley with beautiful sunsets and things, and arrived here after dark. So we broke the rules for the first time. No riding after dark, but
which isn't helpful with a smoked visor and sunglasses.
Oh, well, you wouldn't have sunglasses if you'd had a spare pair of glasses.
My sunglasses are my spare pair.
Really useful at night.
And how often do we ride at night?
Well, we did today, didn't we?
We did for
and
the first
actually,
time.
It was really dangerous because apparently lights on your vehicle at night are optional over here.
Oh yeah, even the lorries.
Great big lorry. Something coming up behind. Oh, it's a lorry, and it hasn't got his lights on. So it's just. And then somebody else. Oh, and you can, if you do want to use your light, just use them on full beam because that's fine too. But I was being blinded by this car with full beam lights, which they might not have been full beam. They might have just been. They had super bright spotlights on. So that was one issue. But actually, I realised in front of him was another vehicle with very, very dim lights that I couldn't actually see. No. It's just crazy. Right. It's just craziness. But yes, it's been a day of.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long day. A day of frustration at the start. When the bike screens broke. And then it was the AAA place, and then it was oh my goodness, I'm in the middle of a city and we're in a traffic jam, and I'm a hot sweaty blob. To suddenly finding the maps, and that lifted us completely, and then the Hoover Down was great.
Yeah. And the people at the visitor centre were fantastic.
They were wonderful. And then the Hoover Down was wonderful. So honestly, the emotions are up there and then the down there. It's incredible.
Just another day in our lives, really.
Yes.
Up and down like a yo-yo.
This is what I wrote then.
I was, yeah.
Right. Whether you see any of this, we'll see. Good night.